It's Friday, September 10th. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Now, I'm watching Animal Science. I find personally, in order to know more about humans and the living environment that we're currently in, that's breaking, to have a neural network of linguistics, it is better and easier to parlay about living animal science. When the language was written, it was written based on animal pairings and relationship, based on how the humans were developing. So this way it would be easier for overstate and understate to come to some kind of resolute. So when I say I'm the Russian nesting doll, it's because it's my name. I'm the cat of Russia. I'm a cat inside an eagle's nest, inside of a burrow called Queens. It would be like this bird and these baby birds inside of a burrow, inside of a tree that was made prior to my appearance. Now, this subset of animal science mentioned on this particular program goes also into another burrowing animal without Warren systems coming into play. It is just a strict burrow, which is just a little cubby. It has a badger, Badger, and a coyote. The most unlikely pairing of partnerships, but I sat here with my son Anthony Tiafrio, 2012, my cat scratch, number 3, Roman numeral 3, and we watched that this morning, and I thought that's such an interesting animal pairing. You would never put a coyote with a badger together, but apparently the coyote has a really good sense of smell, and the badger is really good at making the burrow to get to whatever meal, and then they wind up sharing the scientific discovery of some sort.
The woodpecker will use the burrow to raise its chicks. So if you hear a lot of noisy hammering going on outside your bedroom window, don't get mad at the woodpecker. It's just trying to make a living. One of the fiercest burrowing predators in the United States is the American badger.
The American badger.
Badger feasts on other burrowing animals, such as ground squirrels and prairie dogs. And it has developed some unique ways of finding its prey.
One of the cool things that American badgers do is that a lot of them will form a partnership with a coyote. And the reason why they form a partnership with the coyote is coyote has a very good sense of smell, and the badger doesn't. So the coyote kind of smells.
Didn't we have a problem with out west and something to do with coyotes and the cattle farmers? Please do not bring your real-life human stupidity into my very real New York situation, which is two totally different scales. I am not your version of human.
Where the animal is, and the badger digs it out, and then they both share.
With long claws and short, powerful legs, the badger can barrel through the ground like a mini bulldozer. So we're giving this badger the Animal Science Award for being the best burrower. Come on, badger, take a bow. Next, find out why the Siberian tiger is the world's biggest cat. And
Cyber tiger?
giant hind feet help it navigate through
Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It is September 10th, 2021. I also heard this morning on a different program, there's some gentleman, very handsome gentleman, I do not know his name, but he was talking from DHS perspective about some Afghan resettlement program. Now, here's my 2, 5, and 10 cents. One is there's also a woman by the name of Anna King, Annaking. She was a coffee kid. She looks like the color of my coffee, which is why is she taking the last name King, King? That is a confusing steal and grab by the wrong epigenetic. It is misleading Department of Homeland Security. It is misleading to countrymen, and it is misleading to management at every level. The last name King is not allowed to be associated with anything other than my color Dutch, my color epigenetic. They're confusing language in order to steal product and to steal time and to steal voice. I also had, so this morning he was saying that there's some Afghan resettlement program. No, there's not. Is that the kids that are being led by a Yemen problem in energy scores? Because there was a Yemen energy break, which led to a national security problem with Kuwait, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, the three of them, which is impacting the health of my epigenetics in North America. Then there's some appearance and hijacked of life jack pretty much of identity theft that's going unreported and unaddressed whatsoever. So I don't want the gentleman at Homeland Security who looks like he's somewhat my epigenetic just with darker hair to get in trouble for following some Afghan resettlement plan that nobody agreed to. Who's the woodpecker, who's the badger, and who's the coyote? Because all that soybean product is a big problem at this point. If you're running off of fumes of soybean and all of this microprocessor and chips, I heard another disgusting asshole in my own epigenetic this morning on some tech show as I was flipping through on some talk show, and he said that they're partnering with Microsoft because everybody wants to do videos. No, everybody does not want to do videos, and no, everybody does not need to be heard on videos. There's a very distinct small log of documents about environment and physics in certain areas that need to be recorded, but only because the management is so poor and following all the wrong leadership. I also heard in some area that, which I can't verify if it's true or not, that every one of those shitbag presidents that went into office that you think are like, oh my God, yay, they're the new guy and they're leading us correctly. Every single one of those shitbag dirtbags had an opportunity to put all new staff in the United States governance office and kick out all the Anna Kings that stole epigenetic names and were misrepresenting themselves. And not one of those shitbag presidents kicked the shitbags out of office when they came in to protect the public, the American public. So how are you going to go and explain that one, all 42 former presidents? I'm just curious. Or are we up to 43 now? I don't know. It gets a little confusing. Why don't you all get together as one big white ring of, like, you learn some things in office and go get one gigantic broom and sweep together all the justice kids that keep injustice prevalent and help out the next inherited kids. So this way we could actually clean up in a large arm type of a way. At some point, you have to claim arms dealership. When the navel gets up to the arm level of significance, importance, and wow, this is going to really be a problem, at some point, you have to become an arms dealer. Why am I not brought in on any arms deals? I'm just curious. I have a Universal story. Everybody knows Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, about my story. It's Catwoman and Batman. Gotham is a parody over New York City. My Catwoman is Nicole Cattaruzza, and it's a parody over my lifetime. Not necessarily the storylines that they wrote and were public in the whatever, but the knowing that there's a Catwoman somewhere and there's a Batman somewhere. Those two are actual facts in this reality within the world context. People know about them. That's a universal sign, symbol, and acknowledgement by the general public. I'm supposed to be able to use that to my benefit to better the situation and help resolve the more immediate danger of physics that the planet is experiencing at the moment. Because everybody keeps talking about the material world and then what they paid for or what they put in for. I'm not speaking on that whatsoever. I couldn't give a shit. The world is broken. They took part in breaking the world and pushing it to this disgusting point. I wouldn't reward the children of Earth. I would sit down and I would put a plan together of how to actually fix it. So this way it's not so painful every day waking up and trying to move through this environment. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. And I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. That's where my borough is at the moment of Queens.